Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 14 of the gratitude practice. This is a 28-day practice, so we're halfway through. And I hope you've been following along. And if you haven't, you can go back to the previous videos and take a look at them. And I encourage you to do the practices because by this point, if you have been following along and practicing gratitude every day, you're going to find that your internal world is shifting. And it may be a slight shift in the beginning, and then eventually it builds over time, and it's a major shift. And when you change your internal world, you change your external world, and it does work like magic. And it's incredible what you draw to you as you cultivate this feeling of gratitude within yourself, this feeling of thanksgiving, that you are giving thanks to everything in your life. And you are changing your perception of that which seems bad and understanding what it's giving to you. It will shift the way your world is and draw those things that you want to you because you've changed your vibration. You've changed your frequency at which you're operating. Think of the universe like radio station, and there's all these different radio stations you can tune into. So what frequency are you tuning into? Are you tuning into one that is manifesting abundance and wonderful goodness in your life? Or are you tuning into one that potentially has a lower vibration because of the thoughts that you're carrying inside of you? And gratitude is one of the best ways, and I think it is the number one way to transform that negative vibration into a positive one. And the more we say it and the more we start to think and feel it, and especially once we begin to embody it, you begin to see your world change. What you're changing is your perception of the world. You're changing your reaction. And right now, in this time of uncertainty, when we can't control a lot of our lives, there is the one thing that we can control, and that is our reactions, how we receive the world and react to it. So I encourage you to go along with this practice. Yesterday I was feeling a lot of scattered energy. There was, there was a lot in the air. I think it was partially the weekend, and things are extra quiet right now. I think there's more people home because people are starting to finally take this seriously and understand the need for physical distancing. And there's also the fact of, I think that people are starting to really recognize that this is not something that's just going to go away. And there is no returning to normal. There is no sense of normal now. Everything has changed. And as it should, because we are beginning to understand where the holes lie in our society and our thinking and our way of living. And these things are things that need to be changed. We can't just go back to the way things were. Otherwise, these things can keep happening to the world and to us as a humanity. So how are we going to change in order to breed a new world into existence, this new reality? We need to find a new normal. And so I yesterday was feeling out of sorts. There was just a lot of energy around me, and I realized that what I was doing was I was putting a lot out there into the world, but I wasn't doing what this time is asking us to do, which is to slow down and to self-reflect and to really go inside and do that deep work. So while I've been doing a lot of good work, like I'm doing a gratitude practice on my own, aside from leading this one, I have the abundance practice, I'm leading one and part of one, and I have all these meditations and all these amazing things. But it's been a lot to integrate, and I haven't been giving myself that space to just be and integrate. And so I finally did that last night. And what was amazing was to be able to see myself. I was able to put myself in a position of being a witness to my own life, being a witness to what was going on. And I saw how I was kind of repeating habits or patterns or emulating people that I thought I had let go of or healed those relationships in my life, how I was repeating those patterns with my own family, with myself, how I was still feeding into this need to do this energy that we've cultivated in our society that is always having to be productive and always having to get things done. And I wasn't resting, and I wasn't being conscious or present with the people around me. And this very much is a reflection of my childhood. And there was a lot in my relationship with other people that came up last night. And so this is, leading into today's gratitude practice, which is relationships. And what we want to do is to be able to look at these difficult relationships in our lives and learn to transform the way we view this relationship from maybe a negative vibration of criticism or sadness or lack, or something that we are feeling like it's bringing us down, to something that we can feel like it's elevating us, and understanding what the purpose of that relationship was in our lives. There's a great quote in the book that we're using, The Magic, which says that, holding on to resentment or anger or anything negative within a relationship is like holding on to a hot coal that you want to throw at somebody, but in the end, it's you who gets burned because it's a hot coal that you're holding on to. Forgiveness is so important, in the sense that you're not looking to forgive or condone the actions of what has transpired if there were some negative actions that were happening. But what you want to do is be able to cultivate the gratitude to understand what that relationship gave to you. You were in that relationship with a person in the sense of you had an exchange with that person that gave you something that was necessary for your life, that was necessary for your growth. But it's not necessarily that what was happening in the relationship is okay. You don't have to condone the behavior, but you can be grateful for what it's given you. So today's assignment is to look at that one relationship, that one that is really burning you, and start to think about that person and really go into that feeling. Feel those feelings of why you were with that person, what that person meant to you. Maybe it's an ex-partner, maybe it is a work relationship, maybe it's a parent. For me, I had a very difficult childhood, and in this practice I have been using specifically with my mother, both my mother and my father. But what came up for me last night and this morning was my mother. And so, using this practice to find those things that really are, that have the benefit, that are important in the relationship. So for me, example would be like, Mom, thank you very much for caring for me and providing me with food every day and making sure I was well fed. Thank you, Mom, for being there for me and doing your best to provide me with the love that you could give me at that time. Thank you, Mom, for being there for me and not necessarily always agreeing with my decisions, but allowing me to live my own life. There are things that you can come to, that you can recognize, that are so important in that relationship, that have helped you to become who you are. If I wasn't fed as a child, I would definitely have a lot more problems today, and I may not be here. If I didn't have that, encouragement to just live my own life, not that, it was respected, but if it wasn't completely supportive, it could have been a much more difficult relationship than it already is. So There are things that we can find about these relationships to help us dig in deeper. And at first it can be so simple, and a very simple thank you for little things. And as you go deeper and deeper and deeper into this practice, you will find that you will start to really uncover certain things that you can feel that true gratitude for, that really help you understand the purpose of that relationship, so that you can learn from it and move on and not repeat certain patterns or behaviors, and tap into that new frequency. So now more than ever, this is a great practice during this time of physical distancing, because I think that we're really focused on relationships. We're thinking about them a lot. So let's use this time to cultivate gratitude for some of the most difficult relationships in our life. And I also encourage you to do this practice in a relationship with yourself. What are the ways that you are holding on to anger in yourself? What are you angry at yourself about? What is it that you are burning yourself with? How can you transform that? So I encourage you to look within yourself and look at that relationship you have to yourself, and try to, find 10 things that you can thank yourself for, that you can cultivate that love for yourself as well. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.